Hi, my name is Nikki Winter, and I have been a retailer with LuLaRoe for 3.5 years, been with the company since May of 2015. I am a trainer with LuLaRoe, and I've been consistently in the top 2% for sales nationwide for this amazing company. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about some great new opportunities that have come out from LuLaRoe in the last few months, and kind of just give an overview of a little bit of what it means to be a LuLaRoe retailer. So each LuLaRoe retailer is an independent owner of their own boutique, their own clothing boutique. And what's great is we actually carry sizes extra, extra small to 3XL, so we can serve women of all shapes and sizes, all ages. So very diverse customer base, and that makes it really cool. So what's great about LuLaRoe is that as an independent business owner, you work with LuLaRoe, your wholesaler, to procure your inventory, but then you take it out and you sell it at a retail value. So that's kind of how that works. There are some policies and procedures around how we're allowed to sell, how we're not allowed to sell. For instance, you're not allowed to have a storefront. You are allowed to have a boutique out of your own home, though, with no front signage. You are allowed to sell online. And I would certainly encourage anyone who does join this company to consider model where you're selling both online and in person. I feel like that's the strongest hybrid that you can get out there of a LuLaRoe boutique. Obviously, there are people out there who are very successful just in person or just online, but I think the majority who are doing well do better as a hybrid model. So that would be a recommendation from me. So a little bit about how to join LuLaRoe. So LuLaRoe has changed its onboarding package. They have done something they have never done in the 3.5 years I've been with this company. They've never done this before. So we have actually seen a change to our onboarding process. And now the process takes you about 2 weeks to join. Could be just a little bit longer. There's actually some homework involved because they really want you to be prepared before you do make your investment in joining this company and owning your own business, because it's unlike any other model you've probably ever seen as far as direct sales goes. And so one of the great things is that we have a new model where you can join for as little as $2,500, and that covers just your clothing, your inventory that you would get. They actually give you a menu to pick from. You can pick the sizes and styles that you would like to pick, and you just need to pick a minimum of $2,500. Something that's great is your sponsor can actually sit down with you and talk about what might be the best things to pick, because what you might pick in June, for instance, would be very different than what you would pick in November. And you might want to consider, body types of the people that you anticipate working with. Your location might make a big difference. If you live in Florida, yeah, short sleeves might make more sense in January than maybe long sleeves. So just kind of depends on, a lot of different factors. But that's something where your sponsor can really, really help you out. And I'll talk a little bit in a minute about how to pick a great sponsor. But for $2,500, you can join the company now. Now, what I would recommend is that that only covers the clothing expense for joining the company. You're investing in that clothing. That's clothing that you will actually purchase and own in your own boutique. And what I would recommend is having at least another $500 at least set aside to cover other business expenses, things like a ring light. You'll want to buy shopping bags. You'll need business cards, hangers, a couple racks at least. So there's a few other expenses, a nice photo backdrop, a mannequin, a few things that might be very helpful in starting your business that you'll want to have some cash flow available for. So I would always rather tell you too much versus not enough, because I don't want you to start a business and then not have the cash flow you need to actually make your business work. The way LuLaRoe works is when we order our inventory, we can order anything we want. After our initial investment and we receive that inventory, you can order any pieces you would want whenever they're available. That said, you can only order by size and style. You will not get to pick your prints. So that's really important to remember. And again, this is something where your sponsor can talk to you about, what might sell, what might not be as strategically important to pick during certain times of year or locations, things like that. So, and obviously you don't want to pick all shirts. You want to have some skirts or some bottoms. You need to have some sort of layering piece. There's ways to build your inventory up so that you can be more successful in the long run. And that's really what's most important. As you look at this company, remember though, you don't get to pick your patterns and prints. LuLaRoe makes limited prints. You get what you get. And so when you order, you might order 5 Amelias, and they might be sizes medium. You're going to get 5 Amelia's in, and you'll get what you get. It'll be a complete surprise. So there's still a little bit of excitement when you get your box in from LuLaRoe. There's this excitement of opening up the box and not knowing what's going to be in there and just being amazed at some of the patterns and prints that come. LuLaRoe has really changed their game as far as prints go. We only make up to about 5,000 pieces in each print. Solids are a little bit different, but for the most part, the prints are about 5,000 pieces per print. Sometimes it's a little bit more, but usually it's a little bit less, if anything. So that's kind of cool. So I might get something with sunglasses on it, but my friend might get something with tigers, and my other friend might get just stripes. So it really depends. So you could literally be living next door to another LuLaRoe retailer who gets, you can order the same exact order and get very different items, which is really cool. It's also neat because we get to pick the styles we'd like to carry in our boutiques. I don't carry every style that LuLaRoe makes in my boutique. I don't have the room for it, and it wouldn't make good sense for my business. So I really am strategic about which pieces and styles I'd like to carry in my boutique to cater to my clientele that I built up over the last 3.5 years. So that's just a little bit of insight as far as how the ordering works. There are special releases throughout the year. Those are never guaranteed. I would never say to somebody that they should join this business so that they can guarantee they'll get that special release, the capsule launch, if you've ever heard of those. That's not a good reason to join this business. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. They are a nice boost to my business, but they don't make or break my business. I will say that. So that's just a little bit about how the ordering works. LuLaRoe is your sole vendor, which is really cool. So now I do use some software programs and things like that to help me do my job better. And I do use email lists, and I have used in the past text alerts. I'm using some other things instead now. But there are some other things that you can do, subscription plans and things that you can do to boost your business if you'd like to. But all of that's optional, and that's not something that I would say that someone needs to jump into day one. I think as you grow your business needs will change, and that's really cool to see. Let's talk a little bit about picking a sponsor. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me because I think that's important for someone to know. So you kind of see it'll color where I'm coming from as far as what I'm about to tell you. So I have been with the company again for 3.5 years. May of 2015 is when I joined, and I've been a trainer with the company since, I want to say let's say March of 2016. So I've been a trainer for a long time, actually. There are multiple levels in our company. When you first join, you're a retailer, and you stay a retailer at all times. You're always a retailer. That's besides the point. And you may never choose to grow a team, and you can do very well in this business without choosing to grow a team. In fact, I quit my full-time job working this business full-time, mind you. I worked my business full-time. This is not a part-time job for me. But you can grow your business and do very well just based on sales. That's one thing that's really nice about this business. Now, as I grew my business, the sales in my business, I noticed that people came to me and said, I'm interested in joining LuLaRoe. Can I talk to you about that? And so that became another facet of my business. It doesn't replace the sales. In fact, I have to increase my sales so that I can continue getting my bonus checks. So we're really expected in this business to treat that bonus check as a bonus. And we're compensated because we're teaching you how to do what you do, or at least giving you some resources and being there for you. And I take that responsibility very seriously. So I started doing that early on. People would approach me. I really don't approach a lot of people. I might say something to you if I notice that you have some really good traits that might be really good at this business. After we get to know each other, I might say something, but usually I just don't. People come to me and they're fascinated. They want to know more. How can they be a part of this amazing company? And so that's when I have that conversation with someone. And I never want to pressure anyone as a sponsor to join the company. But so as you bring people in the business underneath, I don't even like that phrase, but as you bring them on into the business, you become a sponsor. And then eventually, when you have 10 people under you, 3 of those have to be personally sponsored individuals. You can become a trainer. Now, there's some other caveats to that and sales requirements and things like that. That's another conversation. I'm just going to go through the basics. Then when you have 3 trainers under you, you can become a coach. I was actually about 3 or 4 people shy of hitting coach at one point in this business. So a lot of times I kind of act like a coach, but I'm not a coach, I promise. But I always say dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And so I'm going to take my responsibilities seriously, and someday I'm going to hit that. And that's my big goal. But with this business, so then you have coach, and then when you have 3 coaches and 3 trainers under your line, that's when you can become a mentor in this company. And so I just want to really quickly tell you that I'm a trainer, and above me, my sponsor, my direct sponsor, she is amazing. She is actually a mentor. Her direct sponsor is a mentor. And then everyone in our line is a coach, or above them. So we have all coaches, and then we have another mentor. So I have 3 mentors in my line leading up to Deanne Stidham, who is the owner of our company. So that's kind of interesting to see. We have some really great, strong leadership above me, and I certainly try to do my best for my team. But if I can't get you an answer, I certainly will go above and find someone who can help you out. That's my goal. That's my job. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy seeing other people succeed. So that's really nice. Again, there's some requirements around, how many things you have to sell and things like that as you become a leader in this company. But that's something that we can talk about if you're interested in. Just send me a message and I'll hook you up. My goal is to sign up people in this company only who want to be really serious about their business. I don't ever want to go out and recruit people just to have people work on my team. That's not at all what I'm about. I think that it's my job to give you some inspiration, direct you to resources, and just be a sounding board for you. Really, that's what I want to do. I try to have my finger on the pulse of the company and kind of know what's going on at all times. My philosophy is get her done. Just get it done, get your work done, and don't worry about the drama out there in the world. Don't worry about, sometimes we have news out there sometimes, right? So you're going to have that in any business. I've been around the block a few times with in my professional career, and you're going to have that in any business. I just really keep my head down. I know what I need to know, and I keep going. So it's been very good for me and my family. We've really enjoyed this business, and I think that's really cool. So if you have questions, definitely let me know. Again, let's talk about that onboarding process one more time. So if you're interested in joining LuLaRoe for as little as $2,500, and that's, again, just the clothing. That's not going to talk about your supplies. I would definitely budget at least $500 for supplies. I want you to be structured so that you can succeed long term. It's always about the long game, not the short game. So my goal is that you would come in with at least that amount of inventory, and then we could talk about ways for you to be successful in building your business. And actually the first 2 weeks before you officially even pay for your inventory, there's actually some steps that LuLaRoe asks you to go through to help you really have a good understanding of what you're getting into as far as owning your own business. Some things that you'll want to know are, how do you find hostesses? How do you sell online? What's the culture of LuLaRoe like? What's it like? Who are some of your leaders out there? How do things work? So these are things that you definitely want to know before you sign on in this business and put your money into play, as I like to say. This is stuff I learned on the job. You get the benefit now, years later, after we've kind of formed what this company looks like, you get the benefit of learning a little bit more before you actually join, which is really cool. It's a really neat experience to see how that's come full circle. You'll get to train with me a little bit. If you are local to me, I would certainly invite you to come and shadow me at one of my boutiques. You can host a boutique of your own. That is a great way to learn about this company. I actually recommend that you come and shadow as well. Shadow another retailer, specifically if your sponsor, if that's possible. If not, have your sponsor help you find someone who does a great job of hosting boutiques so you can see what a boutique looks like from start to finish, all of the stuff behind the scenes that happens, so you get a really good, thorough understanding of what that looks like. I like to have people come in and see how I check people out, how I set up my inventory, how I work with my hostesses a little bit. So these are things that you'll probably want to know before you get started. I could talk to you a little bit about marketing and how to market yourself more effectively, how to be a member of your community, how to be a good member of your community. I really pride myself in participating in community events and doing fundraisers and doing things that don't necessarily bring me cash flow later on. I just want to be a good member of the community. So that's some of the stuff that I can talk with you about. It's really neat because I actually have team members who are across 6 different states, and my own sponsor does not live local to me. She did live 2 hours away from me when I first started, but we didn't meet very much at the beginning. We actually just talked virtually. Now she lives across the country, but it's great. We have a great relationship. I would say that she is one of my top people in the world. So, but definitely you don't have to have a local sponsor. It's more important to have a great sponsor versus a local sponsor. I think that's something that a lot of people early on didn't quite understand. And I think in any business that you might join that's direct sales, that's something you really want to carefully consider because you can't change your sponsor later on. So what you want to know is how much does your prospective sponsor sell in a year? How much does she sell in a month? How is she selling? Is it online? Is it in person? Is it both? How does she market herself? How does she structure her business? Is she a leader in the company? Is she consistent with her sales? These are all things that you would want to ask before joining the company. What does training look like to her? If she's going to be training you, and I assume it's a she, it may not be. We have gentlemen who sell LuLaRoe too. But if she's training you, then what does that training look like? What resources can she tap into? Now, does that mean you should go to the person who says they have the most resources in the world? Not necessarily. You do want to make sure you also click. But nowadays, your sponsor does not need to be in your same hometown. Your sponsor can be 6 states away. And if you guys can make it work virtually, there is no reason you cannot be a success in this business with a great sponsor who's not located near you. So I am certainly open to conversations. If you have questions about LuLaRoe, about owning your own boutique, again, you are a small business owner in this industry. You are a small business owner. You are independent. LuLaRoe is your wholesaler, and again, we do have some rules we abide by, but realistically, you're owning your own business. I have my own accountant. I have an employee. I have, all these things. I have inventory. I have all the things that many of my other friends who are small business owners have. And so I think that's something that a lot of people miss out on in this business. It's definitely something you can do part-time or full-time. Does not necessarily have to be a full-time job for you. What I would say is this is not a good business for those who are interested in just getting a discount or treating it as a hobby. This would not be that kind of business. There are many other great models out there and other great companies that would be a good fit for that. LuLaRoe is probably not the best fit for that because of the amount of inventory we work with and that type of thing. So if you have any questions, let me know. ShopNicolettewinter.com is my website, ShopNicolettewinter.com. I would certainly invite a conversation. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. I hope you're having a great day.